Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Scoreboard with Ethan. So in this video, I'm going to do a quick shorts about our third round pick. And honestly, I think our third round pick of Shavon Revel Jr. is the biggest steal in the draft. It's not because I'm a Cowboys fan. You know, some people might say that. I'm not biased. I'm looking at it objectively. But, you know, Revel Jr. should have went like in the first round. But he did have an injury. You know, he tore his ACL, so he's coming off an ACL tear. He's rehabbing, so it hurt, you know, his draft stock. But we just got very lucky, you know, even with our second round pick of Donovan Azaraku, we were lucky he fell to us to 44, and then Revel Jr. fell to us to 76. So we got, you know, two of the biggest steals in the draft. You know, and getting Revel Jr. in the third round is awesome. We can play him alongside Trayvon Diggs. You know, Diggs is our ball hawk. He'll get interceptions. You know, he'll force fumbles. You know, he'll get pick sixes. And then Revel Jr. will just be like our shutdown corner. You know, take out, you know, their biggest threat. You know, blanket them. You know, cut down, you know, their catches. He doesn't get like a lot of interceptions, but, you know, he comes up and run support. He's a big body. He's 6'3", 195 pounds, has a huge wingspan. So he'll play outside cornerback for us alongside Trayvon Diggs. You know, we still have to you know, replace Jordan Lewis as our nickel corner, but, you know, Revel Jr. is just, you know, just another asset to our defense. And it's just like just having a shutdown corner, even if they don't get like a lot of interceptions, if they just, you know, shut down a receiver, cut down the receptions, you know, that's like almost just as important, if not more important than, you know, a corner, you know, that will sometimes let up big plays like Diggs does. He does let up some big plays. He does take gambles. You know, he does take big risk, big reward, but, you know, he does get a lot of interceptions. A few years back, he led the league in interceptions, and then like the year after that, you know, Bland led the NFL in, you know, interception returns for touchdowns, you know, pick sixes. So Bland will be back healthy. Diggs will be back healthy. You know, Revel Jr. is coming off his injury by the time the season starts. He'll finish rehabbing. He'll be healthy. We'll get Overshown back, you know, probably, you know, 4 to 6 weeks into the season. You know, Parsons will be signed. So, you know, our defense is really coming through. I'm excited. We have, you know, alongside Parsons, like I said, we'll have Azaraku. So we have our two bookend DNs. We have our two bookend corners now. We have our safeties and, you know, Overshown and Bland. So, you know, I'm very excited about our defense. I love this pick. I think it's the steal of the draft. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the Cowboys draft overall. The next video, I'll talk about all of their, you know, 7-round picks, and I'll give my analysis and I'll grade their draft. But I'm super excited about their 3rd-round pick. I think it was the steal of the draft. I love it. It's an A+, 10 out of 10. Let's go Cowboys. Continue to watch and find me in the next video.